Hello, everybody. It's Secondhand Dan. It's the day after Father's Day. What can I say? I was just buried with gifts. Yeah, right. Anyway, I thought we'd do a let's take it apart video. I have something I picked up at a yard sale that was free, so let me show you. Down here on the floor is a Power 300. I guess it's some kind of a jump pack. And it's got a little bit of weight to it. But I assume there's a big battery in there. So it was in the man's free box. It doesn't even have a cord. There's an inverter on the front of it. And also in the free box was a tiny battery charger. I could I guess plug on it or jumper leads and see if it actually works, but there's no value in it even if it does work. It's so small, unimpressive, I don't think anybody would be interested. But so what's nice is at least I got a nice alligator clip out of it. So let's take these back to the workbench and open them up. We are at the Penny Pincher thrift shop again. My second-hand land here in Pittsburgh. Back here in the workshop. Put a new coat of paint on my table about a week ago. So I should clean this bench off. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, first things first. This here's the paint I painted the workbench with. It says floor and porch enamel. So I'm going to stir it up because I got a small project up the street. I'm working on a house that we bought. And the bottom of the kitchen cabinet, it's all wavy, some kind of particle board. I'm cutting a piece of plywood to fit in there. And I want to go ahead and paint it gray before I drop it in there. So let's open up this paint. It shouldn't require a whole lot of stirring. I tell you what I really need to do is get my lapel microphone. You can see I'm out of practice here. It's been a while, so let me go get the microphone. Hold on. All right. You probably already noticed a difference in the sound quality. I've got this on a chain. It did have the pinchy clip on, but that part broke. And so I put it on a chain, and the funny thing was the chain that I had it on, it was sliding back and forth, so you would hear this zit, zit, zit noise while I was moving around. So I found a different chain. So this one's a little smaller going over my head. Oh, I've got to take the glasses off. And I can tuck this under the shirt. Put my hat bag on, and we are good to go. All right, I was going to stir up some paint. We'll get to the power jump pack in just a minute here, because I have to go back up to the house in maybe an hour or so, and I want to be ready to throw a coat of paint on the piece of plywood that I'm cutting to fit in the base of the kitchen cabinet. There's actually a small skim layer on top of here. I'm surprised. Yeah, I can wipe it with my fingers. Feels like here, let me show you. And I just used this a couple weeks ago. But that's just the top. So you can peel away the top, and I'm sure it gets a bit messy, but I was wondering when I was grabbing the can and shaking it, I said, well, I know I used a portion of paint out of this can. Why isn't it going glug, glug, glug when I shake it? Well, that explains why. The skim layer on top. I gotta watch I don't drip this all over the floor here. Put that in place it in the trash can, lay it down so it doesn't run all over the trash can. Myself a decent stirring stick. Oh yeah, it feels real good. So, you know, if it's shaking when I was shaking the can, if I would have heard it, I probably wouldn't have bothered to open it, but no biggie. Don't want to get drippings all over everything. Okay, hang the stick out to dry somewhere where I won't bump into it. Lay it across that cardboard box over there. Put the lid back on this. And let's wrap the top with the mallet here. All right, grab myself a paintbrush, and I'm going to go put these in the truck. I left one up. I tried to preserve it, but like I said, it's been a couple weeks, and evidently this brush is done. But what the heck, you know, I've got a box full of paintbrushes. A box full, let me show you. Actually, that's like a case full. That's full, and this one is full. So it doesn't benefit me a lot to clean a brush out to perfection. I mean, I try and stay on top of them. If it's a nice brush, you know, I will give it a decent rinse, but I'm going to go with this brush. So let's put these out there by the truck. Somebody's out there weed whacking. It's Cousin Roy. I commissioned him to do the grass around my property, and a property where my son lives, and the property up the street where I'm working on that kitchen. Roy! Let's go bother him. No, he has his own technique here. He likes to use the weed whacker before the mower. You're doing good. Oh, you just put a divot in the lawn. Oh, jeez. I don't want to watch. I'm like, I don't know what he's thinking, but I can see when it gets to be 12 inches tall, whacking it with the weed whacker and then following up with the mower. But he swears he did a great job down at the house my son lives in, so just let him go. I don't want to micromanage everything. All right, well, let's tear into this unit here. Hopefully it's not vulcanized together. I do see Phillips screws down inside here. Oh, this is heavy. It's got to be like 10 pounds. Well, let's give you the once around so you can see what we're really dealing with. So you know what we're tearing into. Again, I'm sure a lot of you people have one of these booster packs. Here you would press down the button and it'll tell you how well charged the battery is or is not. I guess here's where the recharging adapter goes. And here is a cigarette lighter type outlet. So you can plug something that adapts into there. Maybe it'd be converted into a phone charger after it leaves there. You have the power inverter. It has 3 pronged outlets on it. So the power inverter, you know, probably can be saved. And just, I'm not sure how much of a lead is on the power inverter going into there, but I don't think I need any power inverters. So, well, let's just, like I said, we're going to be taking it apart. It was free. Oh, come on, flip over. What's this? Oh, this is where the jumping cables would go if you wanted to would plug in there. Then you'd have a length of cable to go to your car battery, to jumpstart your car battery. Cousin Roy says he's going to Harbor Freight to pick something up that's a compressor, something like this, and I guess also a jump pack. All right, let me get the Phillips screwdriver out. So far, I'm only seeing 5 screws. There might be one under this label here. No, that feels solid under that label. I see a dimple under the label. I thought maybe it was a blind hole, but all right. It's a little humid today. Had a lot of rain the past day, yesterday. I've got an air conditioner for sale. I'm asking like $110 for it, and you know, it's getting a little interest, but nobody's gone ahead and followed through. I had a gal said, I'll give you 90 for it. You know, I understand people are going to make offers. She says, and I said, no, I can't do that. She says, well, the reason I'm offering that amount of money is because I have to travel far to come and get it. Well, I mean, I didn't respond, but my logic would be, well, does that mean if you were coming from 4 hours away, it should be free? If it's 6 hours away, I should pay you to take it? Walmart doesn't care how far you have to drive to Walmart. They're not going to reduce the price on their items. All right, well, I released 5 screws, and something still feels it. Oh, there's a 6th screw. Right underneath where the adapter, the jump plate for the booster leads is. So it's a total of 6 screws. And it's maybe not. Come on. Oh, that one was still held on by a hair. This one up front seems to be holding on by a hair. And we have liftoff. All right, check that out. It's a battery. A battery that looks like a motorcycle battery. That is exactly a motorcycle battery. Which particular motorcycle it fits, I don't know, but so it's bolted on. It could even be a lawn tractor, small lawn tractor or something like that, or even a snow blower might carry a battery this size. So if this was something that somebody owned and thought was a nice item to have, and they finally quit on them, and they thought, oh geez, it don't work anymore, throw it out or give it away, when for maybe a fraction of the cost of a new one, they could have just replaced the battery, because I'm sure it's a universal size. All right, well, batteries can go to the scrapyard. So let's unbolt this. You know, I'm doing a hack job here. I'm using a pair of pliers on a nut rather than, okay. Now, maybe I'll have to dig out the right size wrench anyway. It's going to be metric. Here's it. Let's try 9 millimeter. 9 millimeters too big. Okay, do I have the, that's a 9. There's a 7 and an 8 wrench. So it appears to be the 8. I still probably need those pair of pliers to hold the nut from spinning, because I don't think I have 2 8 millimeter wrenches right now. I got a problem with my pickup truck. I have an F-150. It's a 2012. It's a Lariat. I like it a lot. But the issue I'm having right now is on the dash, it'll say left rear door is open, or not latched, or ajar, or whatever it says. And it looks like it's going to be an issue where I'll probably have to take, there's a small wiring harness that comes in through, I guess it's called the pillar, is it an A-pillar, where all the electronics run into the door through in a rubber slinky looking thing, and they run inside the door. So I think maybe the wire is broken, so it's getting a false reading and thinks the door is open, and it's really annoying. It doesn't stop the truck from running, although there is another issue. Sometimes when I turn the key, like nothing happens, and I will slam the shifter all the way up to park, and then pull it back and go back into park. So I wonder if the neutral safety switch is also another problem I'm going to have to deal with. Last year, I think the neutral safety switch, something rusted off up under there, because my daughter, the wife's daughter, tried to borrow the truck and it wouldn't start, but it rolled forward on her. And I forget where we were. Were we down in Florida? Or we were just away somewhere. So anyway, when I got back, it took me a little while. I was starting to take the shifter apart up on top, and I said, and I guess I finally Googled it, YouTubed it, and figured out it was the something underneath to do with the neutral safety switch. And I'm not even sure what I did but somehow I fixed it. I know I didn't replace a neutral safety switch. I think I just had to maybe put some kind of clip or nut or something on the stud. The stud that was runs through the switch looked like it was pretty small and rusty, and so I tweaked it somehow, and it's been working for a year. So I don't know if it's acting up again. So I miss the old school vehicles. Yeah, maybe you'd have a neutral safety switch going on an old one, but at least you didn't have to deal with these 1/8 inch stud going through the center of your neutral safety switch rusting. That was just a bad neutral safety switch. Unbolt the old one, bolt up a new one. Because I know it was a little tricky to get the old one working again on my truck, but okay. Oh, we can even see underneath here, it says something like Topin Battery Limited, HK. HK, who's HK? Not Hong Kong. Now, just for laughs, let's do the old dead short test. Nothing. So, even if it worked, I'm not putting this thing back together. We just wanted to see what's inside. I haven't really, I haven't owned a jump pack. If I did, it was just something I came across in a yard sale for, $2, $3, but I've always still been a jumper cable guy. All right, well, like I said, here's a cigarette lighter outlet. This is well made, I'll give you that. This is a serious case on this. This ain't no cheapo. Okay, well, this goes to the inverter. So if I remove these 4 screws, that should free up the inverter. The only thing is, most typical inverters would have a red and a black wire leading up to it. But in this case, it's just both are black. Now, one has a stripe on it, But, you know, you can make an assumption that the striped one is the positive side, but I don't know if that's true or not. I guess you would find out real quick, because either your thing would kick on, or maybe it would do nothing, or it would spark at you. All right, this is a inverter. Fan still spins on it. When I blow on it, on-off switch, output 115 volts AC. So it says, reverse polarity will damage the unit. Well, I guess if I was really worried about it, I could Google what's the, well, let me look at the wire just in case it has a polarity right now. It says Stat Power Technologies. Ah, it does. All right, it says positive on the white stripe, so there's no reason to reverse your polarity there. So like this went from the battery to this portion here where you would plug in the jumper leads and click on to your battery. So it's not magic, it's just a battery jumping a battery. I mean, definitely they can be convenient when you need them. But like I say, I've got 2 running vehicles, and I've got battery chargers, so I haven't been a jump pack guy. I'm not against them, but there's some people that are actually, like daughter's got a boyfriend, I think he runs, in fact, it might still be in my vehicle, unless they took it out. They said, because when I was having battery issues 2 weeks ago, they gave me a jump pack to hold on to. Well, I've since replaced the battery, and I never used their jump pack, so I'm not sure if I don't think it's in the truck. They must have got it and not told me. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'll make sure I look, because I'm a stickler for giving things back when people loan them. Some people who shall remain nameless, like the one that just borrowed my Sawzall several days ago, has not returned it yet. Sometimes taking apart things like this gives me some inspiration for some of my other creations. For those of you who haven't watched all my videos may not know that I am into building steampunk industrial lamps. And I can show you an example. Maybe you already caught it out of the corner of the screen there, and you're like, what the heck is that thing? This is my industrial steampunk lamp that I've been working on. I actually picked this up at a yard sale, not as you see it, but it was a simplified version of a lamp. There was some actual pipes, but I took it apart and reconfigured it. Whereas before, I think it just had a foot right here and those feet, and it didn't have the T in it, and it didn't have a T up here, and it just had a lampshade with a bulb. So it was pretty, I thought, underwhelming. So I've juiced it up, gotten creative. I used the turntable flywheel, some old capacitors and rheostats and transformer, and I glued that hunk of brass on there. So it might be done. It's if not, it's near done. So, but like I said, when I take stuff apart, sometimes I get an inspiration. I'm like, hey, can I add that? Would this be good on my my lamp, or would it be too much? You know, but that remains to be seen. I mean, all right, well, there ain't much left here. There's a little circuit board in here. Yeah, a circuit board was held on with 2 Phillips screws. Now it seems to be a little bit stuck. It doesn't want to let go. Probably because that nut there has to come off. All right, well, I got the nut off to the power input, and the circuit board is now free. Well, it's free until you get to the end of the wires. And that goes to this plug here. Now looking at that circuit board, I'm thinking that might be an interesting add-on to my lamp over there. Let me think about it. Comment down below what you think. Would that look good? I mean, I'm trying to keep it vintage steampunk, and a circuit board might... Yeah, I'm thinking it just might be too new. I'm old school. I mean, I can remember back when TVs were all picture tube and vacuum tubes. You know, you'd see that warm orange glow coming out of the back of your TV set when I was growing up. And back then you only got, here in Pittsburgh, we probably only got like 6 channels. But the circuit board like this makes me think, well, what if I created a new steampunk type art where everything is from the 80s and 90s, you know, and configure that all into something. Instead of like in this lamp over here, I have the what do they call it? The Edison bulb. So let me go ahead and turn it on for you. Oh, come on. What? There we go. Gotta get this workbench cleaned up. Okay, the power's coming to it. Ta-da! Got that yellow, old-timey glow to it. So, yeah, I'm not sure there's a whole lot more I could do to this. I mean, I could put something on this outer perimeter. Sometimes less is more. Well, just about have this this thing taken apart. Circuit board. I'm not even sure what this little item inside here is. Let's take it off and I know a lot of things, but I don't know a lot about necessarily one particular thing. But this, I would guess, is some kind of relay or thermal device to keep it from overcharging or overheating. Huh, there's a date on there. 12/24. I mean, you tell me this thing gave up the ghost in like a year's time? Well, I'm glad I didn't buy it brand new and have it crap out on me in a year. Because the guy that's let me have it, he seemed to know what he was doing. I think he had a lot of other electronic or radio devices, so he wasn't totally unknowing about such a thing. But this is going into the trash right now, so, and I'll make a case-by-case decision on the rest of it Maybe I'll open the hood of the car and touch these to the battery and see if it takes off. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with Secondhand Dan here while we took apart a jump pack. It's been fun. Like, subscribe, and dare you give me a comment? All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Bye.